Good day, guys. Today I want to describe the importance of choice, not only financial and employment choices, but relationships, dating, and women choice, which is very important aspects of quality of life of a man, and location really matter here. So I'm going to describe it fully in this video. It's time for you to create life according to your rules. CLATYR, create life according to your rules. So again, nothing changed regards the loneliness in New Zealand for me. I mean, recently. It became a change from the first 2 years that I've been in New Zealand, that actually socially I was kind of fine because I still had the energy and the enthusiasm that I got from Israel. I still had the confidence. But as you know, when you change in wrong location for your life, the environment begins to influence you, and not for the better. And with time I kind of lost my confidence and a lot of power with many incidents that I had here in this country over the years, which varied from, I almost didn't die twice in the same year, one from sickness, one from brutal assault from someone outside that I didn't even know. And then it just been around wrong people, some people that it's just whatever you can get because you have no other options. The other option is be completely alone, and I wasn't ready for that. And now, still, I'm alone, yeah. So I want to share that I have a relationship, but in this relationship I feel even lonelier than being alone. So that actually it's not the solution. I heard actually some men that saying, oh, I have my wife and my kids and I need no one. Well, in my situation I actually feel lonely in a relationship more than not being in this relationship. And this is why in this video I want to bold the fact why choice is so important. Because when you living in a country where your mating choice is limited because you are outsider, you are different, you are immigrant, whatever the reason is, yeah? You kind of understanding your position in a dating market, yeah? And of course I'm talking about healthy men who want contact, who want relationship, who want the opposite sex with him, yeah, and he's healthy. I think most men actually want that, but unfortunately the position of women these days are more in power, and they are the one, unfortunately, and also unfortunately for them, that they are deciding more than men in the Western countries. For this reason, there is all this simp behavior amongst men. And the same behavior actually feeds the ego of women around him. And when women have a lot of choice, they go to dating app and they have 50 swipes right, 50 likes, while ordinary men have none, and they pay most of the money for these apps. So it affects his confidence and, of course, his ability to choose someone who is right for him. And when his choice is limited, he begins to compromise more and more and more and more, way more than his soul standard is allowing him. Yeah. Way more than his soul wants. He begins to compromise because he understands that the pain from the loneliness might be greater than pain from choosing the wrong woman. Of course, in the long term, that's very, very destructive decision. Very destructive decision. Which means the longer he is going to live with the wrong woman, his confidence is going to drop, his self-esteem is going to drop because he knows that he is living with the wrong woman. And of course, because of the bad characteristics of this relationship and the woman itself that is not suited for him, he is kind of losing himself and his confidence and who he was before. And when he continues to be in an environment that doesn't have the options to meet someone who he feels and his soul feels that is true for him, is suitable for him, yes, is degenerating, devaluating. Of course, let's add that if something happened with his career, yeah, let's say he was really good at what he did in his career, and then the man lost his career for different reasons. And then for several years he can't really recover from that, and he can't get back the same status in the workplace he got. And his wage is way lower, and the activity that he does is not much happening. Maybe he's receiving money, but he's not happy with what he does or doesn't do enough. And then what happens that he gets up in the morning and he's struggling to get up because he just see no purpose with getting up again and do basically nothing, just waste his time. And it's not like he lack of energy or health. He has plenty of energy, but because he's in the wrong place, he can't realize himself in life. He can't just get up and do what he can because nobody gives him. And he can try different pathways. He can try to do business in this place. He can try and meet people. He can try to meet women. He can try to look for jobs similar to what he had before. And then he sees none of these directions. Doesn't matter what he does, how much he try, how much he change or whatever. The door shuts there, shuts there, shuts there, shuts there. And in this situation, mentally, it's destructible. It's really destructive. Very destructive state to be in. Just state of complete hopelessness will just make the man sink harder and deeper into depression. So let's say he's trying to talk with his, let's say, if my situation is not the best, I can try and talk with my partner about that. But she can choose to do something about it. In my situation, she chose not to do anything about it. And say, yeah, I'll do, but actions say different things. Or she can actually do something about it. Because some men, I agree, they got lucky with really good wives that they understand the frustration and situation of their men, and they are happy to do some sacrifices to change the environment for the men. But the opposite also true. Some women understand that it's better for this man, it's better for me to keep this man there, because high chance that he probably won't leave me or won't be able to find another woman, and I need to put less efforts to maintain the relationship because, oh, this man doesn't have any choice anyway, he's stuck. His chance to find a good job or his chance to find different women and leave me, it's low. And I'm the only one who supports him. Of course, it doesn't make sense for me to change location where he can, if I'm misbehaving, he can change me to a better woman. Of course. So she has actually no motivation to do it, to make this change. And the responsibility of the man to recognize it. To recognize it when the situation is in the place of unreturn. So no improvement is going to happen. Only the man can save himself. Yes, there are situations that the woman sacrifices and does something that will be better for the man and the relationship, yes. But that's not true for a lot of men, especially these days. So the consideration for a location for a man needs to be quite dependent on the choice he's going to have in that specific place. And of course, the most important choices are employment and career choices. I think this is number one. Second is the choice and the ability to get on dates and meet women and get into serious relationship if the men want to. Of course, third parameter is going to be that you can build some social life support circle and a men's circle that they regularly catch up, help each other, and question life and discuss life, and have some kind of men's group, regular men's group, and some kind of opportunity for having long-term relationship with this men group, that you see how each of you grows, and when one of the men falls, so the other man helps him to and support him, because again, a woman can't, or even a life partner, a woman can't support the man in everything. A man must have environment of other men that in similar position to them in life, that they support each other. I can't emphasize how important it is. Also, regarding therapy, if a man needs to, a man is supposed to have, recommendedly, a male therapist. Male therapist for very obvious reason, because a woman can't and never will understand the life of a man, especially today, and how men think. Because women can read about it, they can ask other men, they can study about it, but that's not enough. If you have a therapist and a man who has lived experience with what you had, that's all what you need, because he will understand you. Because female therapists can just play and act like she understands. And even though she really wants to help, but female therapists never will get the level of understanding that a male therapist will. Never. It's just different. It's same that I will never understand fully women's position in therapy. That's just a fact, because we are so different. And that's okay. So that's why I recommend always a male therapist, not female. Because also in our system, we've been trained and taught by females, how many single mother homes. In schools you have mostly female teachers. And there is lack of man contact, masculine contact with a lot of males today. So, very important. So, choice. I really know how is it to live when you have choice in life. And when you have choice in life and you're able to exchange different situation you have, that's equal security. When you have no choice, or you think or don't see any other options, you're trapped. It's bad for you. So you will notice that different locations, different countries, only by changing the place and the location, you will see how choice changes as well. Even in some point in New Zealand, I remember I applied for a job in South Island, and I even received 1 month house and rent free while coming to this place. And I was treated way better than I was treated in a big city, because not a lot of people actually want to come and work in the location that I chose. Therefore, the way I've been treated is way better. But when the employer have plenty of choice, a lot of people to choose from, he won't treat you that well. Because every little mistake, you can say, okay, we can change you, and that's it. So for example, in the health system, in the mental health system here, psychiatrists can do so many mistakes and come sometimes drunk to work and not really work so really professionally. But because there are so little choice of psychiatrists, there is so lack of psychiatrists. So because there is such a lack of psychiatrists in New Zealand, and I guess Australia and Canada as well, so the employer treat them as a gold. They have wages really high, 300, 400,000 New Zealand dollars per year. In Australia it's even higher, yeah? So they have really high privilege. So because there's not many choice of which psychiatrist to use, to employ, so they treat it way better. And same as I changed location to a small town in New Zealand, in the South Island, which not a lot of people want to go, I've been treated way better. Same with, this is with jobs, and same I can say with dating and women as well. If you find some village that have, let's say, thousands of women and several men, you've been treated like a king. And naturally, even some women will be okay to share you with other women in this town to procreate, which sounds for some men as a heaven. But if you look at what's happening here, and especially in the Western countries, if someone wants to meet a woman in a dating app, a woman have each day 50 offers and likes on Tinder or Bumble, and a man have none, or maybe 1 out of 100 once a month. So, and also the women can choose a lot of men around the world. That's what depreciate the men's value in their eyes. And I'm not saying it's good for women, because yes, they have a choice. They have a choice of a lot of physical contact with men, and a lot of attention, which is also important for both people, men and women. But because of their biology and psychology to seek always the best man, their calculator always goes higher and higher. And what happened is that they stay single for a very long time because they're struggling to compromise, because they don't feel attraction for average men. And then when they go in their 30s, close to 40s, they begin to think with their brain and understand that, oh, it's probably getting too late, I need to settle for someone. And probably the man that I really want, I can't really get, because I'm not 20 anymore. And then they settle. But still, this process is quite difficult for them as well. So this greediness and illusion of choice is bad for both sides, in different times, of course. But even when women have the most attention in their 20s, it begins, like their pleasure of enjoying the relationship is decreases because of this choice. And every small argument and reason, they, okay, goodbye, you know? Like there is no value in the boyfriend because they can change him, you know? Don't see the uniqueness in the specific partner they have. And again, I'm not talking about all, I'm talking about the tendency. What general tendency and what is common today. Because if it wasn't true, we won't see male loneliness and male struggle and all these millions of men, even who are married, yes, paying for only fools. And also, in order to tackle that, different groups came up, like, you know, passport bros, and of course, that's not the best solution. There are some issues with that as well. But the question is, what is the better solution? Because yes, men from the West that goes to poor countries like Thailand or Philippines, of course, the value of this man will be looked quite higher than the men around them, and they will have choice. But a lot of them forget to look that mostly they are doing financial transaction. Rarely men find a woman that really loves them who they are. Especially if they meet a woman in these countries that financially similar to their status. And I personally in Ukraine, which considered a poor country, found and dated mostly women that regards finances are same to me or better. While I live in New Zealand and then lived in Ukraine. They just use different strategies to come to that point for me. Like, for example, they worked in Emirates fleet as a flight attendant for several years and saved few hundreds of thousands of dollars. And they invested the money, and they've been really smart with it. So financially, I know that there is no big interest in me in the financial side. I know they dated me because they're interested in me or having a family or some. Yeah, of course, I had a woman that was only interested in having children without me even being there. Yeah, because she's so settled, she doesn't really need me, she just needs me as a donor and bye-bye. That also happened to me. Because that's where you need to be careful. But mostly in these countries that man is considered rich, that come from Western countries to the Philippines and Thailand, a lot of women will consider his financial status. Of course, there are some strategies to avoid that and show that financially you're not really successful, and show that you are quite poor and similar status to them, and you just had enough money for the plane tickets and you just have little savings. Yes, but again, these women are smart. Sometimes they won't believe you and will wait. But this is one way. And another thing, okay, what are you going to do there? Well, being in the Philippines or in Thailand regards life, because you usually don't know the language. What occupation are you going to have? What kind of life you're going to build there? What kind of influence you will have in the environment and society? If you're some kind of rich investor that you're going to, let's say, to build like water purification company, and you're going to manage it there and build some nice projects and invest, you know, that's kind of makes sense to be in the Philippines or country like that, because you have some kind of purpose being there, you're improving people's life over there, and of course on the way you also joining your partner with you, and she just supports your success. In this case, it makes sense. But what I see a lot of men do, they're just going to Thailand with some savings that they have and spending all these savings while being there without earning an income. Doing all these visas and support and put this money on the partner, like, you know, the Thai partner, you know. But they not earning much, and after the money is finished, maybe after a few years, they're gone. And they expect sometimes the Thai lady to come with them to the place they live, and then they'll make their money there. But then there are other issues, you know, that sometimes some women want just the residency or the passport, and afterwards they leave. And there are many places like that. And another problem is that if you take your foreign woman with you to the country that initially you had issues dating, it means that you know that if something will happen in the relationship, she will mistreat you and the relationship won't work. Oh no. Why I can't pass it? Shit. Didn't know the bridge is closed. Shit. Never mind. I didn't know I could not do the circle here. Anyway. Really annoying. Like half an hour I need to go backwards the same way. So what will happen is the man will cling and treat too much, will give too much good treatment to his foreign girlfriend or wife and put her on the pedestal because the lack of choice he have in the place he born or the place he left. And of course his partner will feel that, will understand that. So that's not a good solution either. So that means Usually the best situation is where the man can go to that place, he likes this place, and he somehow can assimilate to that country. He can learn the language, he can find some kind of employment or job there that he will see growth in a few years. Yeah? He will have good friends around him. Again, the same circle of men that he has, that I already discussed. He will have options to find other women in case the relationship wouldn't work, and he knows his chances. Yeah. So the same thing needs to happen in a new place. For sure, not moving to a different country. And of course, there is this aspect that, okay, let's say in Thailand, you meet a woman and she has all the supports, she has friends, she has family. But again, there are different kinds of women. Some women, let's say, their family located somewhere in the remote village and they came to Bangkok and then they excel in really good career and job, and they visiting their family once a year or something. And of course, they sending them money or whatever. This is something, it's same status because you kind of feel alone and she's kind of alone. In this case, it's all right to have a long-term relationship, plan something like that. But of course, let's say the woman born in Bangkok and whole our life and environment is there and you just join in our life, you will need some kind of plan. How can you also build yourself, build your circle and be kind of equal? Because if breakup will happen, she will get over it quite easily, of course, because she's a woman, first of all, and second of all, she has all these supports. And you, maybe it will be easier for you because you will have choice of getting to new dates, but still it will be harder if you don't have support networks. So the support networks that you can build in the place are super important, especially for men. As emotionally we are more vulnerable than women. That's by nature, by psychology, by biology. We are more vulnerable than women, and we need to accept that. Also, women generally have a lot more supports regarding mental health services, and men have way less supports in mental health services because also there are not a lot of men therapists. Most of the therapists are women as well. That's one of the reasons for me it's so important to, as a male therapist, to be in the front line and see how can I support men more. Because myself, even though I'm a therapist, I'm also going through the same challenges that a lot of men going through, especially male immigrants. Yeah. So again, if we're coming back to the main topic of this video is the choice, location matters. You can immediately see when you come to a specific place how much choice you have regarding the main life areas, which first of all is employment and finances, number one. Second is opportunities for dating and getting into serious relationship with the woman in the area, the country or whatever. Thirdly, your ability to network, create a male support groups and long-term friendships, the people around you. And of course, career, also networking and some kind of spending opportunities. Sorry?
The bridges are still
Correct.
closed.
Correct, yes. Close, yeah. Yeah. So this is, in my experience, very, very important because I experience both directions. I experience places where I was and I had choice of all of that, and also bonuses, for example, really affordable houses or apartments to buy. But also I had the all what I described, yes? And for me, it was in Ukraine. And that's one of the reasons why I'm struggling, because I found this place, but this place now, the elite took control over the last 3.5 years. And it's very, very sad. So I can't say that I found a place yet that can be a substitute to the choice that I had in Ukraine in all levels. Very sad. But this country and this place, for every man, is different. Again, it depends on the person culture, even accent, how you look like. So you need to go to that place and experience for himself how he's going to feel in that place, in this country, and then how much choice he can actually build for himself in this country or this place. And then also give it time. Not to, some places you might understand after a few weeks it's not yours. For example, I recently went to check Georgia because one of my friends left New Zealand and he moved to Georgia and lived there for a year. And myself already after a week, I already understood, okay, nah, I don't like this place. Because of multiple factors, yeah? For example, I'm vegan and I'm struggled there as a vegan in Georgia. Also, the sidewalks are terribly built. And I also always need to look under my feet, not to get stumble. And yes, some women there are quite beautiful, but also they don't really like Russian-speaking people because of politics. And me, myself, even though I'm not Russian, but if I'm speaking Russian, they consider me as Russian, and that creates a problem. And I don't really want to invest time learning Georgian. That's not a language that I really prioritize to spend time on learning that. Actually, I have few languages that I want to learn, at least to get to intermediate level and able to communicate. But definitely not Georgian. Like, you can't spend all your time on. Please share with me from where are you watching this video, if you found this place that match all these criteria, and how you getting on. It's time for you to create life according to your rules. CLATYR, create life according to your rules.